Do you remember the scariest sit down you ever had?
Yes.
Where you thought you might get killed? Or
Not killed, but a good beat. And so I had said this story before, but I'll tell you, it's funny. There was a bar, big bar in our area, and it was owned by wise guys, him and his brother. And it was a rock bar, good rock bar, and girls. It was called Macaras, okay? And it was in this area called 16 Acres, a nice area of Springfield. And we used to go up there all the time. And I did, kind of be a wise guy in that bar with some of my friends. But this particular night, I wasn't there. So they said they went in and they had a disruption and a melee, and they broke glasses and told the heads, go screw yourself, and all this stuff. And they wanted to know, they knew who was inside because they were spotted, but they wanted to know, it was described by the manager that there was a big guy in a white Cadillac parked out front waiting for them and then sped off. Now, I had white Cadillacs my whole life, and I'm a big guy, but this time I really wasn't me. I know, I was a friend of mine that was a big guy driving a white Cadillac. But so the next morning we get a call from one of the wise guys' nephews. And he said, "You guys are in big trouble. They want to see you today because you wrecked their bar, and they're really mad. They're like, who are you guys to wreck their business? Because they don't want to lose money. The cops are involved.
And when you get summoned to a sit down with made guys, there's no not going.
Well, this is the funny thing. We got summoned by serious guys back in the day. Now all the guys out. The only reason I'm talking about now is because they're either all dead. They're all dead.
Yeah.
They were older. They were the real deal. Heavy hitter, put in a lot of work. I don't want to get into specifics, but they put in a lot of work. These guys were feared. This is the old generation from like the 50s, 60s, the old guys. I think at the time, the head guy, the boss at the time was a guy, Albert Shabelli Baba. He's dead. He was in his 80s when he was owning this bar, going crazy on us. So the word comes down, and me, there was 4 of us. Myself, that wasn't even there, but I'm not going to say I wasn't there, whatever. And my 3 friends. So, we get together and we're like, we're going to go to this meeting. And they go, listen, we're going to get cracked. We ain't going nowhere. So we jump in my car. Now it's really me. We head off to Fort Lauderdale. We drive from Western Mass to Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, no. You went on a lamb.
Exactly. So we're gone for about a month. Okay. We stay at my friend's father had a condo in Boca Raton. We stay there. We brought we were hustling with this or that. And we had money put away. So we took $5,000 for a couple of weeks. Let's go. And it was funny because one of my friends goes, listen, I didn't even want to go, but I ain't giving you $5,000 out of our pot. And you have a good time, and I'm not there. So he came with us, even though he was going to get cracked. So we're out there about a month, and they know you're out there. They see you. The people see you out there. Like, they have friends that live out there. And they're like, oh, we seen Chicky. They're big shots in the VIP at Crazy Horse. Or they're at Pure Platinum. We're at all the joints, adult joints, and adult club, men's, gentlemen's club. So they got smart, right? And we were idiots. After about a month, we're checking home, and we don't hear nothing. And a guy calls us, says, come home. What are you, stupid? You're going to stay out there forever? They're done. They don't even care about you guys. Come home. The only thing you might do is have to pay for some glasses that were broke, or say sorry to the woman that you told her, go screw yourself. That was their manager. So we come back, and it was funny because we get back, and the word goes out, oh, they're back. So all of a sudden, mysteriously, they want to see us now again. But this time they're telling us, no, nobody's getting hit. We just want you to know we're serious, and you're going to have to pay and not go in there no more. And we're like, yeah, okay. And I said, this is a bad idea. So I knew we were in trouble when we parked the car down the south end where all the Italian area is. And one of these organized crime guys, who I can talk about now because he ends up flipping, this guy, Felix Tringhese, he ends up flipping on the Bruno murder. So he's an informant now, okay? So he's out of that life. He brings us in his car, and he was he was younger. He was older than us, but younger than the older guys. He was like their muscle kind of for a long time because he was a younger guy, and he was a tough guy. So he picks us up in the car, and we go out to this little car lot down in the real bad area in Springfield. And so we get out of the car. He brings us in this little office. It's an office, maybe 10 feet by 8 feet. And there's 4 chairs, and there's a couple chairs. So all of a sudden, we're sitting there. And our guy, Bruno, at the time is doing a small prison sentence. He's doing 2 or 3 years for something. So he would have usually went to that meeting with us and said, the guys are with me. Chicky's with me. Don't hit them. We'll make them pay. And if they do it again, I'll cripple them. That's what he would have said. He could have helped us.
Yeah.
But he happens to be in jail when this happens.
Uh-oh.
So we go there, and all of a sudden, we hear the big door open up, like the big metal door that cars come in. Da, 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 da. It's a real loud. Yeah. And here they come. It's like, one after another, the real deal guys, older guys, these guys, big time guys. Bosses, or if they weren't bosses, then they became bosses.
Yeah.
All older guys, maybe 65, 80, 70, the old school from the real deal.
Over broken glasses.
Yeah. Well, it was not the broken glasses. It was the disrespect we showed their bar. But we didn't just do it that one time. I didn't do it that time, but there was maybe 30 times we did it. This is just the final time. They had enough.
They had enough.
So, and we thought who we were. It was funny because there'd be a line down the street and we'd say to the bouncer, there'd be a new bouncer, college kid, football player at the door, and we'd say, hey, we're coming in. You'll wait in line. Oh, really? Crack. We'd slap. A war.
Just disrespecting.
Yeah. So we're disrespecting their bars and a lot of fights. So, so they come in one at a time. They're coming in and it's like, it just keeps getting worse and worse. You're like, he's here. And then all of a sudden the worst one, him too. So it was crazy. So we're sitting in this little room and the older guy that owned the bar, Baba, was the boss at the time, stands up and he goes, hey, you guys want to be wise guys? You're gangsters, right? You want to be gangsters? I'm going to show you how gangsters get treated that don't listen. And his voice keeps going up and I'm like, we got problems. So two of my friends over here, I got a kid next to me on a couch and I'm here and they start bang, bang. I mean, one at a time. They hit my friend first, broke his nose, blood, bang. This guy must have punched him. It was like a Mike Tyson punch, at least 10 times in the face. I don't know how the kid didn't pass out. And they got him. Then they went to this other guy, got him. Now they go to the guy next to me, bang. And what is crazy is you can't put your hands up to them guys.
You can't because you can't touch a made guy.
Right. If you touch them, it's pretty much a death sentence.
They would have whacked you.
Oh, maybe not right then, but your knees are numbered, believe me. Wow. Back then, this was like, I'm going to say maybe in the 90s, mid-90s, early 90s. But, oh yeah, forget it. You can't put. But my friend next to me, I saw the whole thing. He didn't put his hands up. The guy went to throw him a punch in the face, and he went like this to block. You know what I mean? He didn't go to hit him. Yeah. He went like this. But, of course, when they see him go like this, block, they use that to get worse. They're like, oh, did you put your hands up to you? Now they tack, but they got him good. So now I'm bracing.
So you just have to sit there taking your beating?
Yes.
Oh.
So now I'm sitting in the chair, and now it's my turn. I got one friend over there holding his eye, blood rag. I got another guy holding his nose. This guy here needs stitches next to me. I'm next. Now they're all with their messed up eye. They're all looking at me, and I'm bracing. This is it. So this big guy, his name's Anthony Torino Bendo, serious guy, putting in a lot of work. He comes over to me, and he's dead now. But he comes up and he goes, and you want to be their driver? You want to be the driver like you're a big gangster? And he goes to throw me a punch. And his nephew, he had to be probably in his late 70s, 80s, the guy that went to punch me. His nephew was in his 60s. His nephew was Anthony DeLevo, real serious guy, becomes a boss a little bit later. He stops his uncle's hand, like holds his uncle's hand and says, Uncle Tony, thank God, I don't know how, don't hit this kid. He's a good kid, meaning me. Because he was best friends with my uncle, Joey. They owned an auto body together in West Springfield, right outside Springfield. So he goes, don't hit this kid. The kid's a good kid. They just drive him around and get him crazy. They want him to drive him around. So the guy, Bendo, that was going to punch me, takes out a knot like this out of his pocket. Probably he had 5,000 on him. He takes off 100 and he gives it to me and he goes, go get us coffee. So I run out of the door and who's holding their ride? My other friend's holding something. And if looks could kill, they were like this, looking at me. So where I want to go is fast. So now it reverses. After they beat you up, or they beat them up, I was lucky, they reverse it. They're like, come on, guys, why would you do that? We want you with us. You're making us look bad. Throw a new towel in the guy's face. Just clean it up. You'll be fine. You're not a baby. And if your mother says anything, because we're in our 20s, your mother says anything, say you fell off your bike, or they would make up something. And they loved us after. So I went and got the coffee. I come back. So now we're going back in the car, back to get our car in the Springfield South End. And the guy, Felix, is driving us. He's a guy, he didn't hit us, but everyone else did. Well, they hit them. And my friends, who's holding their eye, who's holding their mouth, who's whatever, they go, it was funny. We all laughed. He must have thought we were nutcases. So they go, Felix, can we pull over behind this abandoned building and just destroy Chicky, beat him up? So that way we all get out of the car downtown together like we got beat up and we all start laughing hysterical. It doesn't happen. But for months I heard about it. You low life, you got away with it. I go, I wasn't even there. But I never told them guys that, but they were laughing. You did it.
Hey guys, if you like that clip, make sure to check out the full episode right here and subscribe to our channel right over here.